The truth is, even if you use 99% of your available credit, it's not going to have a lasting impact on your credit score. And that's because utilization simply doesn't matter. At least not in the way you think it does.
But FICO says our utilization makes up a whopping 30% of our FICO credit score. So why are you saying it doesn't matter?
Well, I'm saying that because utilization doesn't have memory.
Hi, I'm Utilization. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Utilization, what percentage are we at this month?
This month we're sitting at 93% utilization. Pretty high, don't you think?
We'll get it down for next month, mark my word. Nice to see you again, Utilization. What percentage are we at this month?
I don't know that we've met before, but we're sitting at 7% utilization for this month. Very good, I must say.
Nice, much better than last month, am I right?
I can't seem to remember what it was last month. In fact, how did I even get here?
Huh?
The fact is, utilization is scored based on a current snapshot of how much credit you're using in relation to your total available credit. So if you had 93% utilization in October, but you then paid off your balances all the way down to 7% by November, your score will then be calculated based on that 7% utilization rate. Your prior 93% utilization will have no impact on calculating your new score.
So are you saying it's okay to spend more money on my credit cards?
Certainly not. One thing that's an absolute must when using credit cards to your advantage is paying your balance in full each and every month. But it matters when you pay your balance when it comes to utilization. If you pay your balance early enough, that amount will not get reported to the credit bureaus. But before we take a look at one of my personal credit card statements, I just want to make sure you have a clear understanding of when you should care about your credit utilization percentage. And that's going to be when you're thinking of borrowing money in the near future. Now, this can be when you're thinking of opening a new credit card, getting a new auto loan, or applying for a mortgage, for instance. If you're in a situation where you're planning to borrow money or open a new credit card, you really want to put your best foot forward so you stand the best chance of not only getting approved, but also getting the lowest interest rate you possibly can. Lowering your utilization is one of the best ways to boost your credit score in the shortest time span. Since it makes up 30% of your FICO score, I personally think knowing this information about your utilization is essential. And I'm sure you've heard that the rule of thumb for utilization is to keep it below 30%.
But what about 0%? That's gotta be even better, right?
Well, yes, it's gonna be better than 30% utilization, but the funny thing here is that 1% utilization will get you an even higher score than 0%. But why would that be? So credit card issuers make money both when you actually make payments with your credit cards and also when you carry a revolving balance. So if they see you have 0% utilization, they may look at you as not profitable for their business. Now, I didn't write the credit scoring algorithms, but this tip can be really beneficial for you if you're trying to squeeze the most points out of your FICO score. If your score is right on the verge of, let's say, fair and good, getting a couple extra points before applying for that loan can make or break your application, or even get you a lower interest rate. But I have a question for you. What's your credit utilization right now? All right, so I want you to take a look at my personal Amazon Prime Visa to see when to make a payment in order to achieve different goals. As we can see, my current balance is just over $2,000, but the statement balance is only showing $1,200. Well, first off, more importantly than utilization, we need to make sure we're not going to be paying interest on this credit card balance. And not paying interest on our credit card spend is the true way to win with credit cards. Side note, a misconception I've seen around is that carrying a balance in order to deliberately pay interest on your credit cards will help your credit score. No, it most certainly won't. All it's going to do is help your credit card issuer pay out fatter bonuses to their executives. So in order to completely avoid paying interest on our cards, we need to know two things: our payment due date and our statement balance. As long as we pay the amount indicated as our statement balance on or before our payment due date, we will not owe interest on this money. So anyways, in order to grasp when we should be paying our credit card balances, we need to first understand how utilization gets reported. The issue is, each credit card issuer does things a little differently from each other, but there's some general rule of thumbs we can follow. So generally speaking, right around the time of your statement close date, your credit card issuer is going to submit your current credit card balance to the credit bureaus. But how do we find out our statement close date? Let's go back to my Amazon Prime Visa and I'll show you. You want to open up your latest credit card statement like I have here, and then you'll want to find where it says statement close date, or like mine says, opening/closing date. And for mine, it gives me a range of October 5th through November 4th. So more than likely, Chase reported my credit card balance right around November 4th. But we can actually go to our credit report in order to confirm this. Now, everyone in the United States is typically entitled to one free credit report every 12 months from each of the 3 credit reporting agencies. But the FTC has actually increased this benefit to one report per week until December 2023. And the official website for getting your report is annualcreditreport.com. So definitely take advantage of that. But let's take a look at my Amazon Prime Visa on my credit report to see what balance was reported. First up, I have my TransUnion credit report, and I've scrolled down to locate this particular credit card. It's showing here that a balance of $1,203 was reported on November 4th, and that ties out spot on with my credit card statement. And if we take a look at Experian, same thing, $1,203 on November 4th. And last but not least, Equifax, also the same. So everything ties out. For me, if I didn't want that balance reported to the credit bureaus, I would have had to pay it off before November 4th. And I'd likely make sure to make that payment at least a few days before the statement close date in order to assure it clears in time. But there's one issue. Now, I'm a big proponent of setting your credit cards to autopay, and the reason for this is because no matter how diligent we are in paying our credit cards on time, we're only human, and forgetting to make a credit card payment on time is inevitable. I've certainly been in that situation a couple times myself. But by using autopay, credit card issuers typically limit us to either paying the minimum balance, the statement balance, or a custom dollar figure every month. The issue is, when our statement closes and our statement balance is determined, is generally when the credit card issuer reports the balance to the credit bureaus. So by us setting our cards to autopay the statement balance, that balance will have already been sent to the bureaus and counted towards our utilization. If our goal is to keep our day-to-day utilization percentage low, then we really have no choice but to make manual payments toward our credit card balance before the statement close date. But this brings us to another issue that can really jam you up, and that's if we have autopay set to pay our statement balance in full, but then we make a manual payment on top of that. If all goes well, you'll make the manual payment prior to the statement close date, and then that payment will reduce your statement balance. But if you make that payment a little too late, it's possible for us to double pay. So our manual payment will go through, plus our autopay payment will go through. I certainly don't want you to get into a situation where this happens, so if you do decide to make a manual payment when you also have autopay enabled, you'll want to go into your credit card and find the payment activity section. Now, this will differ depending on the card issuer, but under payment activity on Chase's website, we'll be able to clearly see our pending autopay. And for mine, as we can see here, it tells me that there's a pending payment for December 1st, and the payment amount is my statement balance of $1,203. So please, just pay close attention to your payment activity if you decide to make a manual payment while autopay is enabled. And let me know, have you ever been in a situation where you made a double payment by accident? So I'd really only suggest making manual payments if you're trying to hit a particular utilization percentage in the case where you're planning to apply for a new line of credit. But for normal day-to-day use, I would personally just set autopay to pay your statement balance in full and not really give it much more thought than that. The better way to lower your day-to-day utilization is to actually increase your credit limit on your credit card or even open up a new credit card. As long as you can use credit cards responsibly and view them the same way that you view your debit card, this will inherently reduce your utilization. This is because you'll be spending the same amount of money, but now that spend will consume a lower percentage of your total available credit. And in this video, I talk about some misconceptions about credit cards that I think you'll really enjoy. And if you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up. Peace.